You wonder why you can't afford anything, why things have went so expensive, why we have debt up to our eyeballs, why inflation is going crazy. Well, today I'm going to blow your mind because we're going to talk about some of the things that we're spending money on just in the last few weeks and months and just the last few years. It is mind-blowing, and it's all because policies that our wonderful representation and leadership is doing to us. No doubt, this is some of the craziest things that we can spend money on. And really, it's just like anything else government touches. Sometimes when they do things, it actually never pays for itself. It never works. It always fails. And we're the ones holding the bag because we're the ones paying for it and funding it. Let's dive into this today. It's crazy. Hey guys, welcome to The Max. Thank you so very much for being here today. If you are new to the channel, go down here, press subscribe. It means the world to me when you subscribe because we check who subscribes to us because we put it in a list. Guess what? We give something away to our subscribers each and every month. So as long as you're subscribed, you give us a thumbs up, comment below, tell us that. We put you in the drawing. It's free of charge, and we would love to share some gifts with you. Last gift was about a $500 gift that we were able to give to one of our subscribers. So please, don't forget to subscribe and give us a thumbs up if you like this content. Now let's talk about some of the crazy policies that we've done, and it's really Democratic-leaning policies that has failed us. Now, Republicans have got their fair share by it, for sure. They have spent too much money as well, or have went along with some of the spending. But let's just go over a few of these things, and you wonder why your inflation's up, you wonder why we can't afford anything. This is the reason. To Biden's student relief program. Now, remember, student loan relief is not relief. It's actually just passing the burden to someone else. If I did not go trying to get that degree from that expensive school, guess what? I went to college, my wife went to college, but we were able to pay for our own without any government funding, without any relief, and we're debt-free because of it. But you listen to this though. Of those student loans that are quote-unquote forgiven by Biden, guess who is paying them now? Us. Listen to this. This is mind-numbing. Student loan relief contributes to 27% jump in the projected federal budget deficit, meaning we don't have any money. We know that. And even though we're already in a deficit, it's adding 27% more to our deficit by giving quote-unquote reliefs to these people who bought into these student loan investments, I guess you could say, because guess what? They're not the ones who had to pay it. What a liability for them. They just were able to go to college pretty much for free. We're the ones having to pay for their college. I sent a message to some guy the other day because he was like snooty about it, saying, you know, this is why we have to elect Biden because he gives back to us. What we just did is I should have a degree in whatever he had, whatever he went to school for, because hey, we paid for it. Why don't we get the degree for it? And now that's crazy and stupid, but that's about as crazy as stupid as it is that I'm having to pay for his college loan and you're having to pay for his college loan. So we have a deficit already, and then to add to that, 27% of that deficit is caused by us wanting to pay for student loans. You know what's even more crazy? Congress did not approve for him to do that. The Supreme Court did not approve for him to have that function, and he still did it. That shows Republicans are weak because they won't hold him responsible for being really tyrannical and very dictator-like. Crazy policy. 27% extra deficit because we chose to get extra degrees that me and you didn't get, but we got to pay for them. This one will blow your mind even more. American socialism at its best. A luxury apartment building. Now listen, I want you to answer this honestly. Do you have a $600,000 luxurious apartment with a gym, with a library, a music room, a computer room, a gym, an art room? Do you have that in your apartment or apartment building or home? Most people don't. Guess what though? You are paying for it. Listen to this. In LA, the taxpayers are on the ticket. They have to pay the ticket for homelessness and other people coming across the border in a place that is going to cost $600,000 per unit. It was made to be an upscale apartment building. Well, it probably flopped, so guess what? They allowed the government to step in and basically buy it. Well, they bought it at premium, so now governments, for each unit now, each one of these units were $600,000. It is a new high-rise residential tower that just opened in Los Angeles, and guess what? It is now 19 stories, 278 units. 278 units times 600,000. You do the math. That's a lot of money that the taxpayers are having to pay for. And it's not that we're paying for it because we believe we can utilize it. We're paying for it because they did not. Because the people who got to live there either came here illegally or they're homeless and they have done things they probably shouldn't have done, put themselves in a bad situation, and now, since they're on the street and because they're coming across our border illegally, they get rewarded with a $600,000 apartment. Comes with its gym, library, computer room, everything that you can need, even an art room. Where have we, this to me is mind-numbing. Especially when I turn around and get a property tax notice for my property for thousands of dollars that I have to pay. And I don't have all that stuff. I don't have all those things. I don't have an art exhibit in my home. But I have to pay the property tax or the government's going to come get my home and my property, my land that I raise animals on, that I try to keep a family fed and sustainable living. But these people can live on the road, do drugs, and come across illegally and break the law and not have a home and get $600,000 apartments. Again, taxpayer funded. Thank you to this administration and liberal leaders across these big cities. This is in LA, but this is happening everywhere. It blows my mind. Another fun one from California. California and lobbyists spent millions of dollars for school systems to pass this law to where you as a parent, you as a tax-paying citizen who sends your kids to this school system in California, basically their state senate just passed where they don't have to notify you of anything that your kid is doing, or if they change the way they feel about themselves with therapy, or if they are trying to confide in their teacher. You have no right as a parent to know exactly what they're talking about. So they're basically taking your rights. As you pay your taxes to send your kid to this school that you're mandated to pay, you actually are losing rights of your child. So you're paying for your child to go there, even though they say it's free. You're paying because you're paying taxes. And then on top of that, you're losing rights when you send your kid there. This is the kind of policies that have made us have a tumultuous economy. That's made us have crazy expenses in our life. We're robbing Peter to pay Paul, living on Main Street, trying to make it. And the government is spending millions to basically take your rights away, to where you don't know what your kids are deciding, taking your funds away so they can give it to the homeless and people that are coming across this border, and also making sure you're funding other people's student loan relief, which is not relief for you because you're the one paying for it. One more crazy thing, and I think this just blows my mind. Sometimes I'm thinking, what are we doing? There's a new system in place, and I think it's going to happen in Washington, Oregon, or California first. I'm not sure. They're trying it out. Their goal is to give, now listen to this now, they're so low of cops and there's so much crime going on that they've let them lax, they've let people go. But now they're going to allow, you hear me right now, illegal immigrants to basically become policemen so they can help. Now, I want you to listen to that. These people are breaking the law. They're breaking the law being here. But now we're fixing to give them a badge. So you're giving someone who has broken the law a badge to then turn around and arrest citizens of America. Does that make sense? They said they will invest millions into this to make sure they're getting the best training possible. What we're doing is we're trying to bring in a new demographic to America, and we're trying to set policies, especially in these cities. If you live in these cities, you have to get out of the city. If you have any brains. And I know people get mad when I say that because they're like, wow, we don't want to move into the rural areas. There's so much rural area that they can move to. But if you have any kind of common sense and any kind of wisdom and you do a little research, these cities are falling to pieces and they're taking more of your tax dollars, even more than everybody in America that's paying extra taxes for Biden's student loan relief. These cities are taking even more taxes from you to pass these kind of crazy, frivolous policies where now an illegal immigrant can basically not be a citizen and still get a licensure basically to become a policeman to then arrest someone who is part of America. So a non-citizen who is breaking the law becomes a policeman, still breaking the law, and then can arrest citizens who are quote unquote breaking the law. That is a crazy policy, and we spent millions on it. They spent millions on it to try to pass this. Millions of dollars lobbying for it to happen. Again, we wonder why things are closing. I did a video a few days ago of Walmart having several closures. Rite Aid just came out and said 550 stores will close automatically because they cannot afford the situation that they've been put in with this economy. Well, that's a drugstore, that's extra corner markets. So what's going to happen when all of a sudden those leave those areas? And you know where most of them are? In the cities and in these liberal states that have higher policies, higher hourly rates, and higher wages. So therefore, some of those people who live in those cities, who live close to those corner groceries and markets and need their pharmaceuticals, they won't be able to get it because Rite Aid is having to close because of some of these crazy policies. This is the kind of stuff that we've got to stop. You know who stopped any of this? Not Republicans. So I blame the Democrats for setting bad policy, but I blame the Republicans for, guess what? For allowing it to happen. I say this all the time. I never want to give Republicans a pass because most of them love to write these very detailed letters. You ever hear that? We're going to write a strongly worded letter. We're going to bring them in front of Congress and we're going to scold them. And actually nothing happens. It's a bunch of mouth moving with no action. All talk, no action. Literally, that's what it is. So I get a little perturbed when the fact that I just paid the highest utility bills I've ever paid. My utility bill went up 30-something% this month. Our insurance is up 20-something% this year. Not only that, our taxes are going up, and the fact that when you go to the grocery, you're paying 25% more at least on your groceries. And you have no one to thank but our leadership, our representation, and our current administration. We are spinning ourselves into oblivion to a point where we won't be able to get out of this deficit. And because of that, we're putting our families in a way that they will have to depend on the government for more and more. Kind of sounds like socialism, doesn't it? So a little ranty today, sorry. Just trying to figure out why in the world we allow these people to do what they're doing. And I go back to it. You put term limits, you don't allow lobbying, and you make people come back to their districts instead of staying in Washington, you would see all that change. But until we start having moral and value style principles and having congressmen that has a backbone, nothing will get done. And you will still see this same cycle carousel going around until America goes down in a toilet, or at least our economy. Guys, let me know your thoughts. God bless.